reported 18 months ago that heart attack victims in London would have a better chance. Victoria Hospital had started training ambulance attendants to use machines that can restart a heart during cardiac arrest. When Ian Caldwell covered that story, hopes were high for the initial phase of London's paramedic program. But things haven't turned out as expected. We have the Ian story first, and then Nick Paparella with an update.
Assessing.
The machine is called a cardiac defibrillator.
Assessing. Hands off. Check electrode pad. Assessing.
Ambulance attendants are being trained on an automated model. A computer reads vital signs and calculates the electric shock needed to restore a heartbeat in a cardiac arrest.
We were always stuck at basic life support level, and we have many instances in which we felt that if we dealt with advanced life support techniques such as defibrillation, it could have turned the tide.
At the present time, we are only able to save about 2% of those patients who suffer a cardiac arrest before they arrive in the hospital. With this program, we expect that to increase to about 10%.
It's estimated that ambulance attendants bring 250 people suffering from cardiac arrest into emergency departments at London area hospitals each year. Automated defibrillators are expected to give victims a better chance.
Assessing. Hands off.
As several people told me, if they hadn't been working on me in the ambulance on the way to Vic, I would have gone and that would have been it.
Bill McKegney will soon be 65 years of age, and he credits the paramedics from Thames Valley Ambulance with keeping him alive when he suffered a heart attack last September. But McKegney is one of the lucky ones. Dr. John Dreyer of Victoria Hospital is the director of the pre-hospital care or paramedic program.
Well, it's been a very rewarding experience, particularly in terms of increased rapport between ambulance officers and emergency physicians in the city. It's been somewhat disappointing in terms of numbers of lives saved by the new skills that we've introduced. We had anticipated that we would save approximately 10% of those patients suffering a cardiac arrest before coming to the hospital, and unfortunately we have not seen that. We're still hovering around the 2% mark in terms of patients saved.
But Jim Kirby of Thames Valley Ambulance feels the program has been a good experience so far. The one-time ambulance attendants are now known as paramedics.
We now don't feel like we're at what we call the snatch and grab business, where we just ran in and grabbed a person and rushed off to the hospital. We can now actually do something, and the feeling is very good that you can do something when you're serving the general public.
But the paramedics need more than basic training on the defibrillator to make the program work.
The paramedic program depends on the general public's support for its success. And if we have the public trained in CPR, then I think our success rate is going to be very much higher.
Would that public training give paramedics a better chance at saving lives?
It certainly would, and in fact, in all cases, when we have had a successful outcome of a cardiac arrest and actually discharged the patient home, the person who was there and witnessed the event immediately recognized what was going on and called for an ambulance, and the ambulance was there within 2 or 3 minutes. Then they're able to deliver the life-saving electrical shock and get the heart started again immediately. I think, though, we really have to go back to first principles and increase public awareness and increase CPR training amongst the population at large. In other communities that have similar programs, such as Toronto and Kitchener, there is major support from the municipal governments for CPR training programs, and we do not have that in London at the present time.
Dr. Dreyer goes on to say that the City of London should be more involved in training the public in this area of the program.
I think in fairness, the municipal authorities have not been fully aware of the importance of training the public and of supporting CPR training programs for the public. It is curious that in a center such as London with 3 world-class hospitals that we are not attending to the basics. And the basics are educating the public, because if the public is not aware of what they should do in these emergency circumstances, then everything that we add beyond that is really going to be wasted. So I think we really have to concentrate on that and urge the municipality to put some money behind these programs.
The program for cardiac life support that's offered through Heart Save London is an excellent program. It's very beneficial in that a person can institute basic life supports prior to the ambulance arrival. We only have a time of roughly 4 minutes before a person starts to lose brain cells after death. And if something can be done prior to our arrival, then we can increase the survival rate of the people that are suffering heart attacks.
But there always has been some good to come out of the paramedic program, and there always will be.
Yes, it's tremendously rewarding to see a patient who has essentially died before they got to the hospital. The ambulance has started the heart again, and on a couple of occasions these people have arrived in the hospital. They're already waking up, and it's as if they've come back from the dead. It is really extremely gratifying, and the patients, of course, are thrilled.
For Bill McKegney, he's still thrilled to be able to smell the flowers in his wife's garden. Memories of what happened on that September night when he was out with friends are still vivid in his mind, and he'll never forget what the paramedics did for him.
Yeah, when they arrived, of course, they had the famous paddles, you know, which I gather this crew had just been issued the day before. So they used them there, and my heart was beating when I left, but then I gather I stopped beating again in the ambulance, and so they had to use them again. And so officially I was told I was admitted DOA, dead and Vic, Victoria, South Street. I'm gradually getting back, and the doctors assure me considering my health is pretty good right now.
Stay with us. We'll be back after the commercial break with something unusual, a good news story about farming.